If you still doubt me, you can go back to the room we were just in. Check the fourth row, top right-hand corner. You'll find a compendium there detailing rare medicinal ingredients. Of course, if you still don't believe me after that, I have another way to verify it. Fish scale herb is a warm-natured medicinal ingredient. Break open its rhizome, and a milky white liquid will seep out. This specimen, however, is a cold-natured herb. If you cut it, a pale yellow liquid will emerge, and it will exude a distinctly damp, cold aura. You two esteemed alchemists should be able to distinguish such basic characteristics quite easily, shouldn't you? Let me see, Du-Man exclaimed. Taking the dragon-scale herb from the young man's hand, he snapped the rhizome. Sure enough, a yellow liquid oozed from within. This herb, it truly isn't fish-scale herb. At these words, Sun Tao was utterly dumbstruck. Then does that mean I've failed? He stammered. Just then, Ouyang Cheng turned to the young man with an apologetic expression. It appears we were mistaken. Since it is indeed dragon-scale herb, you are the only one to have passed the second-timed identification test. With that, Du-Man produced a token. This is an alchemy apprentice's insignia. With this, you gain free access to the guild's low-grade archives for study. You'll also receive discounts and priority when purchasing pills sold by the guild. After all the grueling effort of the examination, he expressed his thanks, accepted the insignia, and couldn't suppress a wave of emotion. He expressed his thanks and accepted the insignia, his heart swelling with a complex mix of feelings. All that painstaking effort to become an apprentice, he mused, and now I can finally access the archives and read. At that moment, the two alchemists looked at him with expectant expressions and said, "Now that you're an apprentice, you also have the option to study under one of us. With your talent, it wouldn't take many years at all before you could become a true alchemist." The young man felt a wave of exasperation upon hearing this. "I'm a teacher from Hongtian Academy, for crying out loud, not to mention a transmigrator. How could I possibly run errands for you as a mere apprentice?" With this thought, he decisively declined their invitation. Seeing this, Ouyang Cheng chuckled. "Ha ha, my apologies. It seems I was a bit too hasty. Don't overthink it. Whenever you've considered it properly, you can make your decision then." "Indeed," Du-Man added, "go back and think it over carefully. You can only truly learn the craft by following an experienced alchemist, and become a true alchemist much sooner." However, the young man didn't want to get bogged down in this discussion, so he changed the subject, asking, "By the way, within our alchemist guild, are there any medicinal pills capable of awakening special physiques?" Pills to awaken special physiques? Both Du-Man and Ouyang Cheng were taken aback for a moment. Then Du-Man spoke up. "Such pills do exist. However, every physique is unique. The pills required for each are different as well. If you make a mistake, not only will it fail to awaken the physique, it could very well have detrimental side effects. Then, are there any books detailing special physiques and their corresponding medicinal pills? Could I perhaps borrow them to take a look? There are quite a few similar books, but they are all housed in the high-grade archives. According to regulations, only officially recognized alchemists are permitted to enter and consult them. Even I don't have the authority to retrieve them for you," Ouyang Cheng stated. Du-Man, standing to the side, also chimed in, "Indeed. Matters concerning pills and physiques are subjects researched only by true alchemists. Such knowledge is kept exclusively in the high-grade archives." In his quest to find out how to activate a special physique, the young man had taken the alchemy apprentice examination. Yet, even though he had successfully passed, he was only granted access to the low-grade archives. Ouyang Cheng informed him, "If you wish to enter the high-grade archives, your only path is to become an alchemist. This is a regulation set by the main guild. If you truly wish to research, how to use medicinal pills to awaken special physiques. You'd better focus on becoming an alchemist first, so I have to become an alchemist to access the books in the high-grade archives, he thought. In that case, what's involved in the alchemist? Examination? If that's what it takes, I'll give that examination a shot too, he declared with determination. Hearing the young man's words, Du Man nodded with satisfaction. An excellent decision. As long as you study under me. What? Before he could even finish his sentence, Du Man suddenly processed the words. What did you just say? Ouyang Cheng's lip twitched, a hint of utter speechlessness in his eyes. To become a true alchemist. Is there a single one who hasn't poured in years of study, enduring unimaginable hardship? You? You actually want to give it a try? Are you messing with me? He cleared his throat, his voice turning serious. Aspiring to become an alchemist isn't merely about identifying medicinal ingredients, you know. One must master the entire process, from compounding herbs to refining the pill. Why? There are thousands of different pill refinement techniques alone. It's not an examination one can pass so easily. Du Man, standing beside him, chimed in. Indeed. Mastery over the heat during the refinement process is also absolutely crucial. Success only comes through relentless practice. It's impossible to achieve overnight. The young man listened, a frown creasing his brow. It's that complicated? But the new student tournament was only half a month away. To become an alchemist in such a short span of time, it seemed utterly impossible. Hearing the young man mention half a month, Du Man and Ouyang Cheng exchanged a look. Ouyang Cheng immediately tried to dissuade him. Zhang Xuan, don't aim so unrealistically high. You're not even 20 yet. If you could become an alchemist before you turn 30, you'd already have shattered the record in the Tianshuan kingdom. I strongly advise you to proceed step by step and study diligently. The young man sighed, a note of resignation in his voice. All right then. If it's truly that troublesome, I won't take the exam. I'll just have to think of another way. You possess such remarkable talent, and you've clearly dedicated yourself to studying medicinal properties. Wouldn't it be an utter waste of all those years of effort if you didn't become an alchemist? Actually, it only took me about 2 hours. That's all, he thought. However, he had no intention of elaborating. With a nod to the 2 alchemists, he turned to leave. Wait, don't be so hasty. Seeing the young man about to depart, Ouyang Cheng quickly called out to stop him. The alchemist examination doesn't solely involve pill refinement, you know. There's actually another method. With your exceptional memory, perhaps that approach would be more suitable for you. At these words, Du Man whipped his head around in surprise. You don't mean precisely, Ouyang Cheng confirmed with a decisive glance. But you must understand the consequences. If you fail, the punishment is severe. It could even mean you'll never have another chance to take the alchemist examination. I'm aware. But if one wishes to become an alchemist rapidly, this is the only way. Watching these 2 grown men exchange such loaded glances, the young man was momentarily speechless. What on earth is this method? Would you 2 just spit it out already? There are 2 methods to be assessed as an alchemist. The first is that as long as you can successfully refine a first-grade pill, you can become a first-grade alchemist. As for the second assessment method, well, it's not pill refinement, but pill debate. Pill debate? The young man scratched. His head looking thoroughly perplexed, Ouyang Cheng explained, That's right. Among the upper 9 tiers of professions, there is one hailed as the noblest, that of a master teacher. Surely you've heard of them. A formidable master teacher can offer guidance not only in cultivation, but also in fields like alchemy, artifact forging, and formation arrays. However, for an individual to become a master teacher already consumes an immense amount of time. How could they possibly have the energy to then study alchemy, let alone become an alchemist? Yet if one isn't a member of that profession, how can they offer guidance to others within it? To reconcile this kind of situation, the special assessment method of pill debate came into existence. Take us alchemists, for example. To become a true alchemist, one must undergo extensive practical experience. Only through continuous pill refinement can one achieve success. But a master teacher certainly wouldn't have the time for such extensive practical application. They merely need to thoroughly comprehend and master the theoretical knowledge of alchemy. Hearing this, the young man began to understand. So you're saying I don't actually need to perform the practical steps? As long as I can articulate the theory, I can still become an alchemist? Indeed, Ouyang Cheng affirmed, then added, however, this assessment is not so simple. You'll need to engage in a debate with several alchemists, discussing the intricate details of pill refinement. If you make even a single mistake, you will not pass and will face a severe penalty. The young man, however, remained unfazed, thinking to himself with confidence, with the Heavenly Dao Library in my possession, as long as there are enough books and sufficient knowledge, won't this be incredibly easy? Determined to become an alchemist as quickly as possible, the young man decided to participate in the pill debate assessment. However, Duman informed him, although this method of pill debate seems straightforward, even master teachers typically avoid it. Hearing this, the young man's face filled with confusion. Why is that? Ouyang Cheng, standing nearby, explained. Without practical experience, it's impossible to gain a deep understanding of any profession. Even if one learns an immense amount of theory, there's no guarantee it's entirely correct. Relying solely on knowledge from books to debate with seasoned alchemists, do you honestly think you can win? The young man pondered this. It did make sense. Knowledge gleaned from paper remains shallow. True understanding requires personal practice. That's a profound truth. At this point, Ouyang Cheng continued. In the past, several thousand master teachers have attempted pill debate. Every single one of them was an individual of astonishing talent and brilliance. Unfortunately, once the debates began, they failed time and time again. Of those thousands of master teachers, the number who truly succeeded can be counted on one hand. Fewer than can be counted on one hand, the young man exclaimed in shock. Out of 1,000 people, less than 5 succeeded. That probability is far too low. Indeed, there's a vast chasm between theory and practice. Precisely because of this, although pill debate is still a recognized method for assessing alchemists, hardly anyone uses it anymore. However, the young man knew in his heart that while others might not succeed, he could. Since I possess the Heavenly Dao Library, I don't need practical experience at all. A single scan with the library, and everything will become crystal clear. With this thought, his face lit up with excitement. In that case, I've decided I'll take the pill debate to become an alchemist. What? Upon hearing this, Duman and Ouyang Cheng were utterly flabbergasted. Do you even know the consequences of failing a pill debate? Consequences. The young man feigned innocence. What consequences? A pill debate requires you to contend with at least 10 alchemists. These are all individuals of status and standing. If there were no cost, and everyone demanded a debate, wouldn't they be worked to death? Therefore, the guild stipulates that if an apprentice applies for a pill debate and fails, they must compensate each alchemist at least 100,000 gold coins. Secondly, they must endure 100 strikes from the god-slaying rod as punishment. And thirdly, they are forbidden from attempting the assessment again for 30 years. Hearing this, the young man acknowledged that the penalty was indeed severe, mentally calculating, if I have to compensate each alchemist 10,000, then that means I'll need at least 1,000,000 gold coins. Duman affirmed, the consequences are severe, and it's incredibly difficult to pass. That's why no one attempts this method anymore. As far as I know, including the dozen or so surrounding kingdoms, there hasn't been a single such assessment in hundreds of years. With your exceptional talent, I still think you should learn alchemy step by step. Pill debate is truly not suitable for you. Who would have thought, after all their lengthy explanations, the young man simply smiled, unconcerned. It's fine. It's fine, I've already decided. Master Ouyang, please help me make the arrangements. Hearing this, both men stared in utter shock. You don't mean you want to do it right now, do you? The young man simply grinned and nodded. That's right, Du-Man became agitated. Do you even know what the pill debate entails? Do you know what questions the alchemists will ask you? You've just become an apprentice and haven't even begun systematic study. Yet you want to do a pill debate. But before he could finish, the young man interrupted. Can't I go to the low-grade archives? If there's knowledge I don't understand, I can just go look it up there. This declaration rendered the two alchemists speechless. He actually knows to go look it up. Seeing their expressions, the young man chuckled. I'll be heading to the archives to read in a little while, so don't worry. Read. In a little while? At this, the two alchemists completely lost their composure. From the sound of it, you're planning to cram at the last minute. Relax, I know what I'm doing. I don't take on things I'm not confident about. You two just make the arrangements. I need to go study. Hearing the young man's words, the two felt as if their intelligence was being grievously insulted. You don't take on things you're not confident about? You don't know jack shit about what you're doing. However, seeing his unwavering insistence, Ouyang Cheng could only sigh and agree. All right, I'll make the arrangements now. However, gathering the alchemists will take some time. The earliest we can conduct the pill debate will be tomorrow afternoon. Then I'll have to trouble you both, the young man said with thanks, preparing to depart. However, just as he turned, he paused. Oh, right. Where was the low-grade archive again? At these words, both Du-Man and Ouyang Cheng nearly collapsed to the ground, utterly floored. After the young man had left, Du-Man said, regretfully, Don't you think he's being far too reckless? Ouyang Cheng nodded in agreement. Extremely reckless. But, did you also notice his confidence? Du-Man sighed deeply upon hearing this. I truly don't know where his confidence stems from. Actually, finding out where his confidence comes from might be quite simple. Didn't he say he was going to the archives to read? Later, we just need to send someone to follow him. Sooner or later, he'll reveal some clues and we'll discern something. After much painstaking effort, the young man, relying on the Heavenly Dao Library, had effortlessly become an alchemy apprentice. The young man, relying on the Heavenly Dao Library, had effortlessly become an alchemy apprentice. Immediately following this, he prepared to directly take the alchemist examination. Ouyang, Cheng, and Du-Man had no idea where his confidence truly originated. Thus, they dispatched an apprentice to follow the young man and observe him covertly. When the apprentice returned, both men looked at him with eager curiosity. Well, what was he doing? The apprentice scratched his head, looking somewhat perplexed. He was flipping through books. Flipping through books? Ouyang Cheng's eyebrow arched slightly. Tell us, which books was he flipping through? The apprentice recalled. When I arrived, he was flipping through books on the basic alchemy shelves. I took a quiet peek. There were books on basic pill refinement, techniques, how to purify medicinal ingredients, and how to handle pill cauldrons, things like that. Basic pill refinement techniques, how to purify medicinal ingredients, how to handle pill cauldrons. Hearing this, the two alchemists exchanged a look. Aren't these the theoretical books that every apprentice must master? It's like learning to walk or eat. This fellow is about to engage in a pill debate, and he's only starting to look at these kinds of books now? Hearing Ouyang Cheng's words, Du-Man was equally baffled. He turned to the apprentice. Are you certain he was reading these books? I'm not entirely sure. It was less like he was reading and more like he was just flipping. As he spoke, the apprentice even mimicked the young man's hand speed. This statement only deepened Du-Man and Ouyang Cheng's bewilderment. Flipping through books? just flipping through them page by page? Ouyang Cheng then mused aloud, analyzing. Could it be that he was searching for a specific book? And this particular book has a very unique texture. So he could only identify it by touch? Du Man, after hearing this, nodded in profound agreement. That's possible. Meanwhile, elsewhere, in a dormitory at Hongtian Academy, Zhao Ya was currently gazing at the frigid sun mother grass the young man had given her, a sigh escaping her lips. Finally, this can be resolved. Young miss! Just then, Butler Yao suddenly appeared. Someone is looking to cause you trouble. I've been away. No one has been bothering you, have they? No one's been causing trouble for you. Cause me trouble? Who would want to cause me trouble? Zhao Ya looked utterly bewildered. I'm telling you, Uncle Yao, please stop being so suspicious, teacher. Zhang has genuinely been very good to me. I beg you, please stop bothering him. Good to you? Butler Yao scoffed. Young miss, you grew up within the city walls. You haven't seen the wickedness of people's hearts. Before he could finish his sentence, he suddenly noticed the wooden box in Zhao Ya's hand. Young miss, where did you obtain this medicinal herb? Teacher Zhang gave it to me. I wasn't feeling well. So he gave me this and told me to grind it up and ingest it. Butler Yao's face filled with shock upon hearing this. Zhang Xuan gave it to you? How is that possible? A poor teacher like him. How could he? Seeing Yao Han's reaction, Zhao Ya looked somewhat puzzled. What's wrong, Uncle Yao? Is there something amiss with this medicinal herb? It's not that something is amiss. It's that it's far too precious. If I'm not mistaken, this is frigid sun mother grass. Frigid sun mother grass. Zhao Ya clearly still didn't grasp the significance. Butler Yao explained to her, this is the mother plant of frigid sun grass. Its medicinal efficacy is more than 10 times that of ordinary frigid sun grass. Correspondingly, it is also exceptionally rare and precious. I saw it once before. The price for a single stalk was no less than 100,000 gold coins. Hearing this, Zhao Ya was so shocked her jaw dropped. Uncle Yao, are you sure you haven't misidentified it? I couldn't possibly be mistaken. This is absolutely frigid. Sun mother grass! It's the most expensive medicinal herb I've ever seen. The impression it left was profound. How could I forget? Gazing at the frigid sun mother grass in her hand, Zhao Ya's heart was now in turmoil. It's actually worth 100,000 gold. Coins? Yao Han, standing beside her, was also utterly bewildered. How could he just casually? Isn't he supposed to be the worst teacher in the academy? Doesn't he have the lowest salary and very little money? How could he just casually gift such a precious medicinal herb? Meanwhile, in Zhao Ya's heart, her admiration for the young man soared to a new height. Teacher Zhang gave me such a valuable medicinal herb, and yet he didn't show the slightest hint of seeking credit, acting completely unconcerned. He didn't show the slightest hint of seeking credit, acting completely unconcerned. Thinking this, she suddenly stood up and declared, "This item is simply too precious. I can't just accept it for nothing." Uncle Yao, how many gold notes do you have on you? This time I was only escorting young miss to school. I didn't bring much money with me, only 20,000. At this, Zhao Ya asked again. Teacher Zhang left after finishing his class. Uncle Yao, can you find out where teacher is now? Butler Yao immediately replied, I had someone follow him earlier. No, I inquired about his whereabouts. He should be at the Alchemist Guild. Zhao Ya's eyes widened. The Alchemist Guild? Could it be that Teacher Zhang bought this medicinal herb there? With this thought, Zhao Ya immediately headed for the door. Uncle Yao, let's go. We'll find Teacher Zhang. Upon learning just how precious the frigid sun mother grass her teacher had given her was, Zhao Ya, deeply moved, decided she had to express her gratitude in person. She immediately took Yao Han with her to the Alchemist Guild to find him. However, they learned from the receptionist that the young man was currently undergoing the alchemy apprentice examination. Zhao Ya exclaimed, "Alchemy apprentice? Is it very difficult to pass?" Butler Yao, beside her, explained, "The alchemy apprentice examination requires memorizing the properties and principles of medicinal substances. There are over 100,000 medicinal ingredients alone. Without several years of dedicated research and study, it's impossible to pass. He too should find it impossible to pass. I know this assessment is incredibly difficult." "Impossible to pass?" Hearing his words, the receptionist interjected, "Before this, I thought the same. The apprentice examination has a total of 3 parts. However, not only did he pass the first part, the written test, he also scored full marks. He's currently undergoing the second part, full marks." Upon hearing this, Yao Han was utterly astounded. He knew that countless individuals stumbled on this first assessment. This person, who had always been publicly acknowledged as a good-for-nothing, had not only passed smoothly, but had even achieved a perfect score. He casually produced a medicinal herb worth 100,000 gold coins as a gift, and he had even made the young miss so willingly become his student. Is he truly the legendary good-for-nothing? According to the information I gathered, this teacher Zhang was hailed as a genius. At 16, he reached the peak of the fighter 3rd Dan True Key realm. Unfortunately, there was no further progress after that. But this information completely contradicts the current circumstances. As he was lost in thought, he heard the receptionist say, "Strong theory is useless without practical application. The second part of the assessment is timed identification. Out of 10 medicinal herbs, if even one is misidentified, he still won't pass the examination." Just then, someone walked out from an inner room. Recognizing them as candidates from the examination, the receptionist asked curiously, "Well, did you pass the assessment?" The 2 candidates let out a long sigh. "No," they said in unison. The receptionist asked again, "Then what about that Zhang Xuan? He passed. He's already an alchemy apprentice now." At these words, the receptionist was struck dumb with astonishment. He even passed the second part?